Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another Spec adventure. Today, we're going to be installing my brake pads. In a previous video, I was attempting to install these Club Racer brake pads. Unfortunately, they were the incorrect size for my Miata. My NB Miata here actually has OEM factory sport brakes. The Club Racers I ordered were actually for the non-sport brake version. I had originally planned to just go with the stock pads to Buttonwillow this December 11th, but the brake pads I actually ordered after that just came in. And so we are about a week and a half out from Buttonwillow, and today is the weekend, and so let's just go ahead and throw these brake pads on. I decided to go with the Porterfield R4. These are true race pads. They were advertised as like an endurance type of race pad, so I don't know how they're gonna behave, but essentially this is how the packaging looks like. Two for the left, two for the right here. Very simple, no fuss brake pads. I'm also very curious about their noise level. I've never ran track pads before, but I do know that some are louder than others, and they all tend to be pretty loud. These are advertised as true race pads, so I am very, very curious what their noise level is like. Also very curious about how they stop, whether or not they stop right on the dot or if there is some modulation, which I do love. That was one of the main characteristics that I loved on the regular OEM factory sport pads, and I would love for these pads to also have similar characteristics as well. Let's get started. And we're done. Now let's go test them. So we just came back from bedding in the Porterfield R4 brake pads, and initial impression just from street driving it is that they're actually a pretty streetable pad compared to my factory stock pads. These technically are actual race pads, and they're advertised as sort of like an endurance racing type of pad. So I was expecting them to not be very compliant on the street, but I am very surprised. They do have a lot of modulation in braking. As far as noise goes, I actually think these are very road compliant. They remind me very similarly of the DC
Carbotech DS2500.
Yes, that one. Tommy had them on his RSX before, so I'm very familiar with how those sound when you come to stops and, you know, stuff like that. And these actually sound very, very similar to them. Sometimes when you're making a full stop, you'll hear the actual squeak from the brake pads, but they are very not obnoxious. Very low sounding, and then sometimes when you're kind of cruising to a stop, not at a full stop, you'll hear that very similar to the Carbotech ones. A+ for the brake noise. When I was bedding them in, I did smell this very interesting type of brake smell. It doesn't smell like your traditional type of like pad when it's been like really heated through. It smells better. These, from my experience, just from me smelling it, it smells a little bit different, and I would say it's a good type of difference. It actually doesn't smell bad. Obviously, with me street driving them, there's only so much I can tell. I bedded them in to the best of my ability, but obviously the real bedding in really comes from the next track day that I'm going to be at, and from there we're going to be really able to test out how these Porterfields will do. From forums and from other Miata owners that have ran these, particularly on NANBs, I have heard very good things about them, although they don't seem to be the most popular choice for Miata brakes. But from what I can tell from the amount of people that have ran them, they have nothing but very good things to say about. As far as an actual review on these brake pads and their tracking performance, stay tuned for the next track day review at Buttonwillow on December 11th. When we come out with that video, I'll be sure to give you my perspective on how these R4s handle on the track. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more spec egg adventures.